Hey everybody, UUQ sent me this 3x9x40 scope to field test, and they want me to do a mounting video. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put it on this Traditions G2 outfitter. It's in a 35 Remington caliber. I really like this gun right here. It's a good solid shooter. It's very accurate. It's just a good gun. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna mount this. All right. They included some rings with the scope, and these are high rings. I'm gonna go ahead and mount them. We're gonna test them out too, see how good they are. From what I've seen, just looking at them, they seem to be pretty decent rings. Not gonna say they're top of the line, but I think they're pretty decent rings. Anyway, here we go. Okay, something I need to tell everybody. I think most everybody does know this, but I always use some Loctite whenever I'm tightening down screws for my scope and all, because I don't want my scope to move. I don't want anything to get loose or anything, because I want it to shoot consistently. But with that said, don't just get any Loctite. Make sure you get the stuff that says blue. This says Thread Locker Blue 242 removable. If you get the red and put it on, you gonna play heck getting it off. If you can get it off, you're gonna end up having to break something to get it off. I'd rather not break anything. So anyway, go ahead and put some on. And it only just takes a drop. That's all it takes. All right. Get a screwdriver, tighten it up. I'm not gonna just bear down on this. It's gonna be good and snug. And then I'm gonna just give it just a little bit. And that shouldn't move right there. Okay, let me point something out too. When you're mounting a scope, putting scope bases on, stuff like that, you need to make sure that you have the right tools. The ones that's gonna fit what you're working on. Like this screwdriver right here, it fits perfectly into this. It ain't too small, it ain't too big. If it were to be too small, you turn it, tightening it up, and it could slip, and you end up scratching your gun or whatever, and we don't want to do that. So anyway, make sure you have the right tool, the right size tool. Okay, I'm gonna put this other ring on. All right, gonna put another drop of Loctite on. Uh-oh. Okay, tighten it up real quick. just a little. Okay. All right. They also included an Allen wrench, which is for these little screws on the actual rings itself. All right. I'm gonna take these scope covers off for just a minute. Okay. Top of the scope rings back on. Loctite. Just gonna do a little at a time. When you tighten these down, you want to tighten them down evenly on each side. All right. I've got it on there. I ain't got it tight or anything. It's got a little snugness to it, but what I got to do now, through my Loctite, I got to put the cap back on. All right, what I got to do now is I want to get my eye relief right. I want to make sure that the scope is sitting back at a good natural length away from me that's comfortable for me. So when I put my cheek down here on the scope, I see the whole thing of the scope there. I don't want to just get up here and just see some black and then a clear part on one side. I want to be able to get up here and it be automatically aligned. So I'm pretty darn close, right? Yeah, that's it right there. Okay. All right. Also, what I want to do is I want to make sure that I have it straight up and down. I don't need it canted over. I don't need my crosshairs canted over to one side. Now that looks pretty good right there, the way it is. A lot of people will say to get it exactly perfect, your crosshairs and all straight up and down, you need to get a scope level. I'm not going to argue that at all. I've never used one. I've never really thought that I needed one. So anyway, whatever works for you. If you want to invest in one, I don't think they too awful much, but for me, the way I do it works. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and tighten this thing down. Remember, I said they want to tighten each side evenly. So I'll do just a little bit at a time on each one. And as I go, I'm gonna periodically check my scope to make sure it didn't cant to one side. Still good. This is a little time consuming, but it's just something you have to do. And I'm not saying this is the only way to do it. Just like anything else, there's several ways to do stuff. This is just what works for me. Still looks good. One thing you need to remember too is you don't want to get these rings just tight. You want to get them tight, but you don't want to over tighten them, because if you do that, if you do get them over tight, you run a risk of damaging your scope. I don't care what brand it is. If you over tighten these, you very well may damage your scope. So just a little bit goes a long way. But right now I am kind of comparing how it is. I'm going to tighten it just a little bit more. Let's see here. Okay. It's fairly tight. Anyway, this ought to work pretty good. All right, still straight up and down. All right. Okay, I think this is going to be pretty good. Just check it one more time. Eye relief's good. Looks like the crosshair's straight up and down. Okay. I am going to put the caps back on. I tell you what, before I do that, I'm gonna double check something. Yeah, I believe it's fine. What I was gonna do is this eyepiece right here. It's adjustable, and you can adjust it to your eye. What it is it makes the crosshairs in your scope clear. You want those just as clear as you can get them, and you just turn this knob right here side to side. It'll move, and it's got plus, 0, and minus. So anyway, you can adjust it however you want to, but it's pretty good. It's pretty good. So I'm gonna put these scope caps back on. I'm gonna check it one more time, make sure everything's good. think that's gonna be about right. Anyway, that's gonna wrap up the mounting video. It's as simple as that. It's not real hard. It's real simple. Just the main thing is you just have to make sure that you have the right tools. For me, that's gonna be the blue Loctite, the right size screwdriver, and right size Allen wrench. All right, y'all, that's gonna conclude this video.